DeFi, 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 that's what I'm most bullish on for the next few months, probably for the entirety of the cycle, to be perfectly honest. And I'm pretty interested in what's happening over on BNB chain. I believe CZ is going to put a whole lot of life in there, and you don't want to miss this opportunity. I'm telling you how I'm positioning myself right now. Let's dive in. So CZ is talking about TST, which is a test token used in a video tutorial that was not endorsed by CZ or Binance itself. It ended up being listed on Binance, getting a whole lot of attention. And he is starting to put out some tweets and basically show that BNB chain is going to take off. I'll show you a few other things that really kind of create this idea that BNB chain is going to do very, very well. One metric is when liquidity gets somewhere. So when money flows to a blockchain, that is a good sign. And this is from dBridge. Okay, we're listening. Solana to BNB chain. There's a whole lot of back and forth, but you can see there's a lot flowing there, and there's quite a bit flowing to BNB chain. That's a flow in that direction. You can see other sources are flowing to Solana, but whenever the snapshot was done, maybe it was a day or week or whatever it is, huge amount of liquidity just going there. There's a few other things that definitely have taken my attention as well. So we'll scroll on up and we have a look at this. CZ's plans BNB chain sub-second block finality, basically meaning you make a transaction within 1 second. That is final. It's on the blockchain. Confirmed, you go to the next step, which is brilliant. It's fantastic. You need that. 100 milli transactions per day, gasless transaction, etc., etc., etc. Dev tools, because Binance does have the largest user base in the world. They have so many people, and if they can make them go on chain, then that's a big win. But they need to protect them as well, which is where something like Infinex comes in. So Infinex will probably end up looking after or using Binance chain as well. Let's have a look and see what people actually do in terms of DeFi over here. So Prosper, she is very good at DLMMs. Sometimes she gets them right. Most of the time she does. Sometimes she gets them wrong. She has some decent losses, but she goes in with size. Like I'll show you one with size in a minute. She went in here with, I mean, this is already size, right? 260,000 into this pool. This was on Feb 8, which was probably pretty decent all-time highs, but we'll have a look. She went to V3. I don't know how long she was in it for, but printed $11,646 in fees. And this would have been hours, not days, but hours. I'll be able to show you why in a second. Let's have a look at why I feel this token, or not TST directly, but the BNB ecosystem is gonna spring some life into it. This is PancakeSwap. The token they launched as a clone of Uniswap back in 2021. I played there. I bought the token here, and I didn't sell it at this price. I don't know why, but whatever. I sold some. I had some fun. I learned how to farm back in 2021. It's never going to go to its all-time highs, which is $44. As far as I'm aware, it's already got a massive, it's not going to. It's got a massive market cap. I'm unsure exactly how the tokenomics are. They probably burn a little bit, to be perfectly honest. I'm just not completely sure. But it's been going up over the last little while. Had a major dip down a month ago, and then it's just been just pounding. I don't have any cake token, but just pointing that out. Now I want to show you TST, because this token is just a test. It's just an idea. It's not a token that I want to buy necessarily. It's just a token that I felt was quite interesting. Now, 7 days ago, so on the 8th, it was 29 cents. It rocketed up here, and then it came on down. Remember, Prosper showed the screenshot on the 8th, 5:37 UTC, and she'd already been absolutely printing. So I'm going to go and have a look and PancakeSwap at this particular pool and just show you how to do it so you can keep it on your radar. That's all. Then I'm going to put more attention on this, as well as Chain and Solana, of course. Primarily, I want to cover DeFi. If there's something that's really cool in the deep end that I can understand quickly, fine. But my skill set is DeFi, and I may as well stick to what I know. So TST wrapped BNB. I'm in this liquidity pool. It's quite a bit different compared to your Radium and your Meteor and stuff. This is V2. It says it's printing this nice, decent APR. It is going down. right? This was a day when it went a little bit crazy with $100 million in volume, and the fees kind of low down here, but still like pretty decent. This is the fee on the volume today. And this is, as far as I'm aware, the actual tokens get put into the liquidity pool. So we might see them actually increase. Of course, we can have impermanent loss. I mean, you always want to outperform impermanent loss. Give this a refresh. By the way, the wallet that I use is MetaMask. You can use Rabby wallet, but I like to use MetaMask just because I'm used to it. Rabby wallet's still a very good idea though. Now the UI takes a little bit of time to actually load. We can see this transaction I put in 2 hours ago. I went in with 1,929 tokens and 0.519 BNB, which has now grown a little bit. The APR is 1,863%. I actually want to remove this and enter into the V3. So I'm going to show you how that's done. I'm going to remove it all. What we have to do in the EVM world, if you're new, you have to go and enable permission before you go and approve transactions. It's pretty standard. The BNB cost will be kind of minimal, but at the same time, it's higher than what you'll pay on Solana. This is 13 cents. Sometimes it's like 50 cents or whatever. Either way, confirm the transaction, all good. And this is just withdrawing from the pool. I've withdrawn all of it. And then I have these tokens. You can see down the bottom of my MetaMask, I've got TST. It doesn't have a dollar value for whatever reason. And we've got a little bit of BNB. Now, let's have a look and see in all pools. So you get here by going to PancakeSwap.finance. You must be very, very aware. This is the reason why they've got this always at the top here. Some banner saying beware of phishing or whatever is because it does actually have a whole lot of attention from scammers. So PancakeSwap.finance, come up to earn, have a look at farm liquidity, and then we can just sort it by APR. You want to look at some decent TVL, of course. I'm going to go with V3. V3 I think is probably a better idea. And like TVL like that, you know, $20 is completely, it's not worth it, right? You're not going to do well with that. Let's turn off all networks and just go with BNB chain. And let's have a look. So, got to be aware of anything that has low TVL. I really don't care for low TVL like that. And some of these tokens will absolutely underperform completely. But this is what I'm after here, earning a decent APR. I don't have to stay in it for very, very long. I just want to get in, get familiar again, and then go from there. TST probably has more, I guess, interest in it because CZ's talking about it than a random meme coin. And BNB itself will do well just because of who it is connected to or what it is connected to. So I'm going to add some liquidity into the V3 1% tier. And this gets a massive amount of fees. As you can see, it does have more tokens here and it has pretty massive volume, but it is declining. It kind of had too much hype, then up it went again. So I've got some TST wrapped BNB. I'm going to go click this or click max. It will add another amount of wrapped BNB. If you don't have wrapped BNB, which you probably won't, just go to the swap and trade, swap and just swap BNB for wrapped BNB or USDT for wrapped BNB or whatever. Now we can alter this, which will change the amount we kind of put in here. It will add more or less, but I'm just going to keep it the way it was, to be honest. If we go with full range, we don't earn as much. I understand 50%. This is probably what I think is going to do fine. In other words, if the token comes down 50%, we're out of range. If the token goes up 98%, we have a whole lot more BNB. We've earned some fees. It's not like DLMMing though, but we've earned more fees and we've got rid of the token. So now we have BNB. I don't think it's going to go that high, to be honest. Like even if it pumped up, say like 57% from here, that would be absolutely amazing. But I'm just going to keep it the same, just for the sake of it, because I don't have a whole lot of wrapped BNB. So enable this here. You have to do this. Confirm. That's basically giving permission to the dApp. Yes, you can take this in my next transaction, and then add the tokens. Let's have a look. You can see $1.05 is what it's going to cost to make that transaction go through. If we view on BSC scan, we'll see the actual gas usage once the transaction's gone in. This is not a kind of decentralized blockchain. I won't lie to you. It is, I don't even know who can actually use a validator. Like, I'm pretty sure most of them, if not all of them, are controlled by Binance. No intention to FUD, just that is how it is. Gasless transactions, that's not going to be easy. 94 cents to put through that transaction. And it just auto-equated or auto-worked out all the different gas. Cool. So we're now in there, ideally printing 2000% APR. So let's have a look. We'll go back one step. Now, if we compare Prosper's beautiful $11,646 in fees compared to mine, I'm not going to be hitting anywhere near that at all. But I still want to see how I actually do. So I'm going to let this go up, and then the next video, we'll have a look and see how many fees I actually managed to generate. This number here can kind of lure you in with a false sense of your dreams are going to be made with this 2000% APR. It is not going to be the case here, but I'm keen to see how it actually does. Actually, a little bit of a change in my mind. We'll wait a couple of hours and then I'll record a new little segment so we can see how many we actually managed to collect. And then we've got an idea of our actual APR right now. Okay, so it's now been 2.5 hours since we deposited, and we deposited with 1,938 TST tokens and 0.51 wrapped BNB. Now, of course, there's always impermanent loss in these things. You have to be aware of that. And if you don't know what it is, just give it a good Google, have a look at some other videos, etc. So now, if we give this a little bit of a refresh, we will see that we've got a different number of TST tokens as they go up and they go down, just depending on trading volume. And we've accumulated $2.32 in fees, which we could collect and then compound that to the liquidity if we wanted to. If I do a basic bit of math here, so let's take 24 and we'll divide it by 2.5. So there's 9.6 iterations of 2.5 hours in a day. And if we times that by $2.32, that's $22 a day. Times $22, etc., by 365, that's $8,129 per year, which of course, that is not likely what's going to happen, but that's just an idea of how it actually works. If the price of BNB stayed the same, if the price of TST stayed the same, and if the trading volumes stay the same, which is very, very key, then that's what we'd basically be looking at as a return on investment. And as you can work out, that is over 1,000%. Now, there's a little bit of crazy math here, to be perfectly honest. That definitely doesn't work, but it's referring to if we include our farming rewards that are staked for 1 year, and if we compound them every 30 days, which of course, this is not going to be the case. We're not going to turn $700 into 1.8 million. If we change this to every 1 day, it's saying $35,809,000. So that is certainly not the case. I'm not entirely sure why it has that. I mean, it's a nice little bit of information to have as a bit of hopium. It's also showing some cake tokens, but I do not believe we're getting any cake tokens, so I think that is incorrect. We'll go and collect these anyway. We wouldn't be doing this too often because the fee to collect, well, you can see it's like 55 cents. So we're not going to want to spend 25% of the yield on a transaction fee. But it's, you know, it's something decent. If I go back to earn and then go to my positions here, I do have this option to stake. And if I go and stake that, maybe that gets me more rewards. So maybe this gives me cake tokens. I'm unsure here. I'll stake it and I'll see what happens. It says farming active. Now I don't want you to wait for the next video. So I'll pause this, I'll wait until the morning, and I'll see what our return has been overnight. Okay, so it's now approximately 13 hours later, and I can show you claiming the rewards and compounding the rewards. So having a look here our actual liquidity has dropped significantly because this is kind of liquidity that's condensed in a range, meaning this has dropped quite a bit, almost maybe $100, something like that. We initially put in this amount, it was equal, so we can essentially take 370 and times it by 2, so basically 740. So we've been losing out quite a bit because of TST dropping in price, and that doesn't look very nice, does it? Now, ideally, it goes up in range again, which happens if TST starts to pump again. But we're just learning with this token. Now, thus far, it's earned $18.17, which we're going to collect. And if we go back here, we can see that we're actually also earning some cake. The cake is minor, very, very minor by staking. We'd have to unstake and then remove the liquidity before we actually move on to another liquidity pool when we decide to change. Very, very minor, but it will end up equating to $45 a year or something, and it'll get more and more as more liquidity is put in. Now, I'm going to compound this. Collect and sign the transaction, confirm. Compounding this is probably a good topic for another video. We've collected the fee. We can have a look at this calculator. We can see that if we're compounding every day in this range, then we can make a pretty decent amount. Like, this is how much it literally is in 1 year. Now, we're not going to last 1 year, of course. We could literally make over $1 trillion in rewards. I'll go over that in another video because that's actually not going to be the case here, of course. And we're not going to last even 1 year, unfortunately. We can have a look at 30 days. 30 days, LP rewards 6,000 at the current rate. So $6,000 ROI. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep on compounding it and compounding it and compounding it. I'm not going to get disinterested by the fact that the price has gone down of TST initially. I'm going to compound it, and I'm using this as a lesson to continue on. That's basically my strategy here. You don't have to copy it. It's not a financial advising video. It's an educational tutorial. So go add here, and we're going to add our maximum amount of TST, which is also adding $5 worth here. I actually ended up getting $18 worth. I'm not only putting in $15, but because of my range, I can't actually put in more because I don't have enough TST, and I'm okay with that. So we'll enable TST, confirm the transaction. There is a small gas fee with this one, 4 cents. Then we'll click increase, and this is what I'm sending, BNB and TST, $1 transaction fee there. I'm going to double check to see actually how much it charged me. And then I'm going to keep doing this every day or until the rewards start to be more decent, maybe every 12 hours or approximately like that. I'm going to see how it goes. I'll also be on the lookout for other liquidity pools, and I may bridge across some money to this ecosystem to play with those, especially as CZ starts to get more and more hype again. The guy is, as I said, the GOAT in crypto, public GOAT, and I'm just waiting to see what the gas fee was for this one, just so I can point out what's kind of normal. We'll go back to that in a second. We'll close out of there. We now have a little bit more liquidity, some more fees again to claim pretty immediately, and we're just going to let it do its thing. This APR has significantly jumped up, so I'm guessing that if we go to all pools, we're starting to see an increase in the amount of trading volume going through, or maybe there's a reduction in liquidity. We'll have a quick look here. V3 here. Volume is 12 million. TVL is still quite high. Nothing crazy is happening yet, but I do think more attention will be coming to this ecosystem. Now, for whatever reason, this is still indexing. So that is the nature of a more centralized blockchain that's not running as fast. So I can't see that. Anyway, that's all for this tutorial. If you like DeFi, make sure you're subscribed and check out these other videos just on general DeFi tricks and tips and different blockchains. But I will be back on BNB soon with more videos. My next video will probably be on Berachain.